time, we do have a new tornado warning to tell you about. Tornado warning for Alexandria, out near Alexandria International Airport. I'm actually going to see if we can get our tower camera pointed in that direction. So if you are in Alexandria, especially on the west side of town and around the airport, get to your safe place now. We do have a tornado warning in effect, and we definitely do have a signature here on radar that is showing some rotation. So I'm going to see if we can point it a little bit more to the west, and then we'll keep an eye on that here in the coming minutes. But this is for Rapides Parish until 5:30 p.m. and looking out near the airport. And going to take a look kind of what we have going on here. We can see this tornado warning here, and just kind of jumping on as we take a look at things. This is going to be headed in the direction of Ball eventually. So if you are in and around the Ball area, definitely going to keep an eye out here in the coming minutes for this. And we do have this area of rotation here. And looks like we have an area of rotation, maybe possibly a couple of different ones. Seeing one near the Timber Trails region here. Along 71, and then we also have this area here that is going to be kind of close to that I-49 corridor. So we do have a tornado warning, and I just haven't had a chance to read the text here, just want to pull that up and take a look at that. This is going to be for the Rapides Parish area, and it is pushing to the north and east. So we are eventually going to see this pushing towards the Ball area. So this is issued till 5:30. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located over Alexandria International Airport, moving east at 30 miles per hour. So radar indicated rotation. And I would say this is actually just a bit north of the airport area. This is actually going to be north of Highway 28 as we kind of take a better look at this. So again, this will be north of Highway 28. That's not going to be directly over the airport. It's definitely in the vicinity of the airport. And you can see our rotation there. And I'm thinking we could have a couple of areas of rotation here. And taking a look at that, one will be headed towards Ball. So we have this area here near Highway 71. You see the red and the green next to each other. We also have this area here that is going to be east of Rapides Station, and that is going to be kind of around the Interstate 49 area as well. So a couple of areas of rotation in Rapides Parish now. We did have this warned as a severe thunderstorm just a few minutes ago, but these are situations. Yeah, and you can definitely see that rotation there. I think that strongest rotation is going to be near Highway 71 in Rapides Parish. So this is going to likely miss the downtown Alexandria area, and this is going to be more on the north side of town. It is north of Highway 28 at this time, and you see this area here right over the Timber Trails area, and that is going to be headed towards 167, eventually towards Sims and Ball, kind of between Sims and Ball on the south side of Creola as well. And that's where we're seeing this area. Tioga, if you're in Tioga, I would just go ahead and play it safe there. Get to your safe place as well. And that's what we're looking at. Let's check on our velocity here. Across the area. This is our one of two tornado warnings here ongoing. The other one continues for LaSalle Parish, and that is in and around actually just east of the Gina area. We actually have three ongoing tornado warnings, one in and around the Natchez area as well. So everybody in the warning box, this is going to include Rapides Station, Timber Trails, Ball, Kingsville is in the warning box, and the metro area is in the warning box. But again, the downtown metro area, at least, largely not going to be affected by this. Most of this is just north of us, but definitely includes a highly populated area. Lots of folks in this area, of course, as we know. So definitely if you live in and around Pineville, Ball, Paradise, Timber Trails, even Rapides Station area, as we may have more than one area of rotation here. But we're definitely seeing it show up broad rotation here around the Timber Trails area. And again, that is going to be pushing east. So that is going to be moving towards Ball and Tioga along that 165 corridor here in Rapides and then southern Grant as well. Let's check in, see if we have any updates here from the National Weather Service. And that tornado warning has been issued heading towards the Ball area. So if you're a Ball, definitely want to stay inside. Don't travel here in the next few minutes. Stay away from windows and doors and go to the most interior room of your house. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. So that is the safest place to be. If you have more than one floor in your home, go to the lowest floor and just stay in there until the storm has passed. So these storms are definitely strong today. They've had a history of producing at least the possibility of some tornadoes, including one potentially near Gorham over in Natchitoches Parish earlier today. So again, we're watching this storm. I'm going to put it into motion here. This is headed towards the Ball community here in Rapides Parish, but if really anybody on the north side of town here, especially the northern portion of the parish, definitely just stay in your home for the next few minutes until the storm passes, because this is certainly a strong storm. And going to check in on some of our other things happening here. We had this warn for a severe thunderstorm warning just a few minutes ago for the possibility of some hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So even if it doesn't produce a tornado, we certainly could see some damaging wind gusts and some hail. So a nasty storm nonetheless, and again, not expecting the strongest part of this storm to affect the downtown Alexandria area. We are looking at Ball from Tioga over to Timber Trails. That's the main area, and it looks, as I'm kind of talking about this, they did pare the metro area back, so it is no longer included in that tornado warning. And again, that's because the strongest part of the storm is missing the downtown metro area and actually much of town, so that is good. We still are going to see some of the effects of this storm, but the tornado warned part primarily affecting from Timber Trails over to Tioga and over to Ball as well. So that is going to be coming up on Highway 167, Hickory Hill Road, if you're in Eights Roads, Service Road East along 167, Oak Lane Road, Davis Drive, again, the Paradise Community, Ball over to McRae Drive, Paradise Road, Camp Livingston Road, Hooper Road, it's really kind of right on top of you now, Hickory Hill Road, Stones Way Drive, Eights Road, Haynes Road, a Row Gully Road as well, LaCroix Lane, Stones Way Drive, everyone in that vicinity. So really coming up on Tioga and Ball as we speak, and between 167 and 165. So that is where we are seeing some indication of rotation. According to our velocity signature here, and just kind of check in on some of our figures here, seeing how things are looking in and around this area. These storms can drop tornadoes very quickly. We are seeing some higher velocity. So, you know, we don't have confirmation that we have a tornado on the ground, but certainly seeing this storm pretty strong. Let's see if we can move our tower camera as well here, and certainly looking pretty stormy out across downtown metro area this evening. So these storms are headed into Rapides Parish at this time. Vernon Parish is still looking at some severe thunderstorms. Those are now starting to push to the east of 171, but they are right on top of Fort Johnson area at this time as well. So here we go. We can see definitely looking like some lower cloud bases over towards that area, of course, as we would expect over in the Pineville area, as this tornado warned storm makes its way into the Ball and Tioga area, approaching 165 at this time. Again, the Timber Trails area, looking at some of those roads, Shreveport Highway, 1204, McRae Drive, Oak Lane Road as well. All of those communities here as we see the storm heading towards the Ball area. And it may produce a tornado. If not a tornado, then certainly some very strong winds here across the area as has been the case pretty much all day. Not seeing too much on our tower camera there. I'm going to check up here if we have any updates. And it does look like we are going to see, okay, that was our tornado in Grant. LaSalle has been allowed to expire. So if you were in that area of LaSalle Parish earlier today with the tornado warned storm, that is going to be allowed to expire. So we're still focused on this incoming storm here, severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado warning as well in and around the Ball and Tioga area. And that is potentially producing a tornado. We certainly see a strong rotation on the radar still near Ball. Let's check that out again. And it's going to be this area really between Sims and Tioga. So certainly if you're in Ball, please take cover. Don't go outside. Stay away from windows and doors here in the next few minutes. So definitely have something going on with that storm. If it's not producing a tornado yet, it certainly could at any time. You see our the red and the green next to each other, that area of rotation there. And that continues to make its way off to the north and the east. So putting that into motion, you can see it is getting ready to cross Highway 165 in Rapides there just to the north of Ball. And that's made its way from Timber Trails on to the north and east. The metro area at this hour is in the clear. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning. So putting this into motion, the rest of this storm is going to be incoming here to Rapides and southern Grant here in the next few minutes. As a strong thunderstorm, the severe thunderstorm warning continues, expands north all the way up Highway 165, covering parts of Pollock and Gina. So really this entire kind of complex of storms here is severe warned. And then we have additional storms back in Vernon Parish. Those will also be making their way into Rapides Parish as well here in the next few minutes. And just checking in on this, our severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. This will continue until 5:30. And again, we are seeing radar indicated rotation in and around the Ball and Tioga areas, specifically in Ball and Paradise at this hour. Even Sims, Timber Trails, let's check out our rotation is. Yeah, the worst rotation is pretty much east of Timber Trails at this time from Sims right over to Ball. And I want to see what else is out ahead of this. Fishville, I would take cover if you were in Fishville as well. You're a little bit north of that rotation, but certainly better to be safe than sorry. And this is all going to be north of Highway 28. So if you're in Rapides Parish, the main concern is north of Highway 28. So north of the metro area, really along 165 near that Grant Parish, Rapides Parish line. And let's see actually if they have not issued a tornado warning for Grant Parish on this particular storm. They're keeping it covered with this severe thunderstorm warning. But again, this whole area from Pollock down to Ball, that is where we have the worst of the storm along that 165 corridor. So lots of lightning in this storm as well. Definitely a noisy one. Let's check in on our hail product as well and see if we're seeing any hail in and along this area. This storm doesn't look like it's been as much of a hail producer as some of our storms earlier, especially that strong tornado warned storm that was over in Concordia Parish earlier. So we are just continuing to track this tornado warned storm here in Rapides Parish, in and around the 165 corridor, near the Ball and Tioga communities. Kingsville, really, you're in this warning as well. I would definitely take cover if you're down into the Kingsville area out ahead of this. So the storm will be making its way towards Labousse and Holloway here in the coming minutes. So we will be tracking that as it heads into that area as well. And really, I'm seeing the worst of this rotation, and there may be more than one area of rotation trying to form here, but we certainly have this one that is pretty much near the crossroads of the Grant Parish and Rapides Parish border. So we are seeing this right here next to each other, the red and the green next to each other, which does indicate that we are seeing some rotation. Again, if we're not seeing a tornado, we could be looking at some damaging wind gusts with this 60 miles per hour or more. So looks like it's starting to make its way past the ball area now, or at least heading into the eastern part of 165, just east of 165 now, as it steadily makes its progress here off to the north and east. Again, the good news is today these storms have not been sticking around for very long, so they tended to move through very quickly and then get out of the picture. So that is going to continue here for about another 20 minutes. On top of that, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for much of the rest of Grant Parish and LaSalle Parish. And then we still have our severe thunderstorm warning back down in Vernon Parish, and that's starting to make its way east of Fort Johnson now, and towards the Simpson area. You're going to be one of the next areas in line here to experience the severe thunderstorm warning, and then we'll see that storm make its way into the rest of Rapides Parish as well. DeVille, not quite in this tornado warning box yet. We may see it expanded into that area, but at this time we're primarily seeing northern Rapides Parish into extreme southern Grant Parish as well. So that storm moving about 30 miles per hour to the east, and continues to make that progress there. It looks like we may have another update here coming momentarily. The storm not looking quite as strong as it was a few minutes ago, so that is good news there. Hopefully we'll get an update here on how things are looking. We also continue to see this strong tornado, or this tornado warning for this strong storm does not include. Yeah, well, it does include the north side of Natchez. So the ongoing storms here are really continuing to make their way from west to east today, and definitely producing all sorts of things from hail to damaging winds, and possibly some tornadoes at this time as well. And looks like, as I mentioned a minute ago, it does look like we're seeing a bit less on that rotation, maybe weakening a bit near that Rapides Grant Parish line. And they're going to keep a severe thunderstorm warning going from Grant into LaSalle. And not seeing any new tornado warnings issued. So again, looking like that rotation that we saw earlier kind of starting to fade. We do have some rotation still near the Grant Rapides line, but National Weather Service says they're going to cancel the tornado warning for the Ball area. And as that main area of rotation has faded. Still staying an area here, though, to the east of 165, and we have a severe thunderstorm warning on that. We don't have a tornado warning on that, but to me, that is the area here to the east of 165, just south of Fishville. That is looking like our strongest area of rotation at this hour. Not seeing too much back here across the Ball area at this time, as things look like they're improving at least slightly. So with that, it does look like our tornado warning has been dropped now for Grand Parish and Rapides Parish. That has been replaced with a severe thunderstorm warning, and that severe thunderstorm warning, let's see how long that is going to go, till 5:45. And it looks like we have a new tornado warning for a new storm here now for Rapides and Vernon. So again, if you're in the Ball area, things do look like they are improving. They're also pushing mostly east of your area now as well. But we have a new tornado warning now. And this one does have a pretty well-defined hook echo here, or starting to get one. This is actually going to be just south of the Fort Johnson radar here. And this is going to be in Vernon Parish, between Fullerton and Leander. And this is pushing, let's double check our direction here. This is pushing east at 25 miles per hour. It's located near LeCamp, about 11 miles west of Heinston for now, moving east at 25 miles per hour. So that is going to be coming up on the Leander community here shortly, and that is going to be a tornado warning and pretty close to the radar right now. You can see pretty strong signature there, and let's check it out just in the last few minutes. Take a look at what we see here. Yeah, so you can see we have this area here where we have, especially just one radar scan ago, we have this area here where we have the red and the green next to each other. So definitely have a potential tornado trying to form, which is where we have that tornado warning. You do see a little bit of a hook kind of right in here. This is our hook shape where we have this little notch here. That's where we have the inflow from that storm that feeds into the storm, continues to give it the energy. So we definitely see that here at this hour. So this tornado warning is going to go for Rapides and Vernon. And this is going to go until 5:45. This storm is more of an easterly direction. May have some hail with it as well. So in the coming minutes, we're going to be looking at Heinston, Sieper, Leander, Otis. You guys are all going to be in the path of the storm that is going to be headed towards the Leander community shortly as it's pushing east. Going to get a track on this, moving east at 25 miles per hour. So let's check it out and kind of time this out here for our communities here in Western Rapides. So we have a new radar scan there. So this is moving east at about 25 miles per hour. So that'll put it into Heinston here in about the next 23 minutes. So that is our main community kind of out ahead of this, unless we see it take on more of a northeastward movement. But let's put that into motion. And yeah, that's headed towards Heinston, towards the Rapides, Vernon Parish border. This particular storm, not a threat for Leesville or Fort Johnson. And that is primarily the Leander and Heinston communities. And that could have some hail as well as a potential tornado as well. And again, if you're watching from Grant, back across the Ball area, things have calmed down with that storm, not showing as much rotation with that. And that tornado warning has been dropped. So it looks like let's check it out. Looks like we may have a third tornado warning coming here. And we'll get that here in the next minute or so. You can definitely see this. You can definitely see the rotation here. And this is going to be south of Louisiana Highway 121. And it's going to be north of 463. This is really just to the south and east of the radar out in Vernon Parish. And you can definitely see some at least broad rotation from the storm. I'm going to check it out over the last 15 minutes. You can kind of see how those colors are sort of starting to wrap into each other, and that definitely a sign of rotation, and that is why we do have a tornado warning ongoing. So Heinston, you are the next area out in the path of the storm. Also the Leander community, and this will be headed eventually into Rapides Parish. So you can kind of see that storm firing up, definitely showing some of that counterclockwise rotation. So this is going to be south of Highway 28 in Vernon Parish, and that is going to be headed towards Highway 121 in the next few minutes, and may also cross Louisiana Highway 463. It's actually going to be headed really towards those crossroads. And that's going to pass through most likely somewhere between Leander and Heinston, and that is why we have that tornado warning ongoing for that area. And just kind of going back to Concordia Parish, golf ball size hail reported and some tree damage down and around the Faraday area. So we had a tornado warning there earlier. May have had a possible touchdown near Gorham and southern Natchitoches Parish earlier today as well. So we'll see those reports kind of rolling in as we get a picture of what is happening. So Leander, Heinston, we do see a hook echo with this storm, and this is a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. We may have to watch out for this in the metro area here in the coming minutes and down to LeCount. We'll see kind of which trajectory it takes as it makes its way into Rapides Parish, but certainly a strong storm. We're continuing to see a severe thunderstorm warning now that does include the Alexandria metro area as well as Pollock and parts of Grant Parish. That one is going to go until 5:45. And that is going to be for a severe thunderstorm with penny-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So a strong storm here incoming to the metro area, and that one could be causing some damage as well. They're all moving in a generally east to northeasterly trajectory, actually with the exception of those couple of storms, things are starting to look a little better. Some of our strongest storms have now pushed east into Mississippi. So we do have severe thunderstorm warnings. Most of that is now east of Leesville and almost east of Rose Pine and Fort Johnson. So you guys are going to be in the clear here shortly for those areas. And next up will be Woodworth up to LeCount, and then here in the metro area as well. DeVille, you're now in the severe thunderstorm warning box for this storm as that pushes to the east. So you're going to be looking at the potential for some damaging wind gusts as well. Let's check in on our storm. Definitely seeing some rotation on this storm. Still has not quite made it to Leander or Heinston, but definitely seeing some rotation ongoing here with this storm out in Vernon Parish that is headed to Rapides, and just kind of sampling some of our velocity data here, velocity around 50 miles per hour. So certainly a strong storm, not seeing any incredibly strong, well, let's zoom in a bit. Let's check this rotation out a bit more. Sand Hill Road over in Vernon Parish, that rotation is pretty much near you guys right now. And yeah, certainly seeing some rotation. Let's see if we have any updates here. Looks like we have a new update coming through shortly. Yeah, Sand Hill Road, south of Leander. This is the area that we're looking at right here. This is our rotation in Vernon Parish, and this is going to be Sand Hill Road, J. Harper Road, Cora Road in Vernon Parish. If you are in any of these areas, Parish Road 511, you definitely want to take cover here as we have this strong area of rotation. It does look like it's starting to kind of see an uptick in that here in the next last couple of minutes. Velocity is around 60 miles per hour. Let's just check on our debris tracker here, and we may have a little something going on out there. Certainly the Sand Hill Road area, the area where we have the strongest rotation. We're seeing a little bit of blue in there, correlation coefficient. This is something that kind of takes a picture of any debris that might be lofted into the atmosphere. So it is possible we may have that happening out near Sand Hill Road. So Cora Road, J. Harper Road. I want to go back to the velocity here. Definitely those two spots, Cora Road and J. Harper Road. Definitely get to your safe place. Right now, also just out here in the next few minutes, Riley Deason Road, Nicholas Road. You are in the path of this. Mount Moriah Church Road, Sand Hill Road, Cora Road, Joe Smith Road, Parish Road 511. And let's see what this road hit, J. Harper Road again. Cora Road, Parish Road 511. You are all in the path of this rotation, and it is looking like a pretty kind of what we call a tight area of rotation, and just moved with our latest radar scan here. So let's move the radar. It's right on top of J. Harper Road now. You see the green and the pinkish red colors right next to each other. So that's where we may have a tornado being produced near Sand Hill Road in Vernon Parish. So please take cover if you're near Sand Hill, J. Harper Road, Cora Road, and just trying to get a feel of some of those roads out ahead of this. It's going to be south of 121 at this time and north of 463 in Vernon. So between Highway 121 and 463, and the movement of this is going to be primarily to the east at 25 miles per hour as of our latest update here. So that is going to be tornado warning. Let's check back on the velocity. Yeah, you see this right here. Again, south of Leander. If I were in Leander, I would certainly take cover. But there's our inflow notch here with this storm that is allowing it to rotate. And there's going to be a lot of rain with this storm as well. You may not be able to, or you likely won't be able to see it, especially with the sundown at this hour. But Leander from Heinston, if you're in Heinston, definitely get to your safe place and stay there, as this area is going to be headed in your general direction. And let's check in on our velocity. Definitely have a very strong area of rotation here. J. Harper Road, right on top of them. So if you know anyone in the J. Harper Road area, give them a call and check on them. Looks like we do have a debris signature out in Vernon Parish now. So this indicates that we have a tornado on the ground, potentially a strong tornado on the ground, and that it is possibly lifting debris into the air, and that's pretty well defined. Very circular, right on top of where our velocity is. So again, this is a very dangerous storm, and you want to take this one as seriously as you can. We're seeing that become a bit more well-defined. So between 121 and 463 in Vernon Parish, this is going to be crossing into Rapides Parish soon. And if you're in Hineston, get to your safe place and stay there until the storm passes, because our storms today have had a history of producing tornadoes, including possibly some strong ones. So this is going to continue pretty much for the foreseeable future. Again, Leander, Hineston, you are out ahead of this. So if you know anyone in Hineston, please call them and tell them to stay home until the storm passes. And kind of looking at the direction, we're going to be dealing with this storm here, of course, in Rapides Parish shortly. As this continues to push in an easterly direction, especially along Louisiana Highway 112 as it heads towards Rapides Parish. Hopeful that this storm will pass to the south of the metro area, but we're going to have to watch it. They can change direction and could start to move a little bit more northeastward. So we are tracking most likely what is a tornado on the ground somewhere just south of the Leander area, coming up very quickly on Leander in Vernon Parish, Riley Deason Road, Jeans Road or Jean's Road, whichever one is closer to Tolbert Loop. Chester Merchant Road, and I believe at this point we're going to be mostly on the Rapides side. Grayson Marler Road, Chester Merchant Road, Louisiana Highway 463, Louisiana Highway 121, and eventually Louisiana Highway 112 in and around the Hineston area. And we do have a debris signature on our radar this afternoon. That's definitely not something that you see every day. That's just north of Highway 463. This is going to be crossing what looks like Gilbert Edelman Road, but again, north of 163, headed towards Chester Merchant Road. If you are in Chester Merchant Road, take cover immediately. If you're in Grayson Marler Road, take cover immediately. If you live on Calvin Merchant Road, Louisiana Highway 121, Louisiana Highway 463, Tolbert Loop. It does look like this is going to be more on the south side of Leander. So if you live near Leander Loop, the strongest part of the storm is going to be just south of you. Again, right between 121 and 463. This is going to be headed more or less at this time pretty close to Hineston, if not directly to Hineston. So this is, let's go back to our velocity. We still have a strong radar signature, a velocity signature on our radar. We have a pretty decently defined hook echo, saying velocity of 60 miles per hour. And this storm could certainly produce a tornado at any moment if it's not already producing one. But the fact that we do have a what looks like likely a debris ball possibly on our debris tractor is pretty good indication that we've had something touch down out that direction. So Chester Merchant Road, Louisiana Highway 463 and 121, and I want to put it into motion and see which direction it is going. Yeah, definitely an easterly, more of an east-northeasterly component, and that's why I think it's going to be headed towards Hineston here. I'm going to slow it down. It's definitely getting close to 121. Our newest radar scan just came in, so it is now very close to 121, and it does look like it is headed right into Hineston. So if you're in Hineston, please take cover, go to the most interior room of your house. Stay away from windows and doors, and put as many walls as you can between you and the outside here until this storm passes, as this is a strong one. May have a tornado on the ground here. Definitely some indications that we do. So some of the other roads, Boyd Road, again, 121, 113. I want to read some of these smaller ones. Jarris Wells Road, Sandy Lane in Hineston, Highway 461, Benny Melder Road in Hineston, Lookout Tower Road, Bounds Road, 121, again, in and around the Hineston area, coming up on Grayson Marler Road, Bounds Road, Charlie Sasser Road. All of these areas here are going to be in that. Chester Merchant Road, Tolbert Loop, right on top of there. And JT Glass Road, possibly Price Crossing. And Harper Road, Lookout Tower Road, Benny Melder Road, Highway 461. All of these spots here, JT Glass Road, TD Cotton, Bounds Road. All of those areas here in and around the Hineston community. And it looks like we have looks like we have a second area of rotation trying to pop up here near Leander. Our main area of rotation that we're watching is pretty well defined. You see the red and the green next to each other, and then right on top of Louisiana Highway 121 and 112, moving right into Hineston right now. And not seeing any new updates from the National Weather Service here, but as we track this, the data here shows us that we most likely have a tornado out in this direction. Let's check in our velocity our debris tracker. Yeah, still seeing, you see the red and the green next to each other, right on, really pretty much right at the crossroads of 121 and 112. And as we go over to our velocity, our reflectivity area, you see we do have a little bit of an inflow notch there, and then we also now have, it's not looking maybe as strong as earlier, but definitely a defined, what we call a debris ball. So as that number gets closer to 0.2, the more likely debris is. When it is closer to 1, it's more unlikely. So we definitely had that kind of trying to form earlier, still have that on there. So again, this could be a situation where we have a tornado on the ground or intermittently touching down, lifting back up. It does do that as the storms kind of cycle. So again, the Hineston community, and let's check out what else we have going on. Still just a severe thunderstorm warning across the Alexandria metro area and over into southern LaSalle, southern Grant as well. We do hear rain here at the station, so we do have the potential for some strong winds in that storm as well. But we are tracking this storm near the Hineston area, and actually it still looks like we have a couple of areas of rotation trying to form. Kind of out just to the east of Leander and Hineston as well. So certainly this entire area, you definitely want to continue to stay in your safe place here in the next few minutes. So we're still looking at that area of rotation. Here in the latest scan, it doesn't look quite as strong as it looked earlier. It does look a little more broad, so that may be a good indication, possibly that it's weakening. But again, we're watching this other area here also out near Leander. So we've got a couple of areas of rotation. I'm thinking this one to the west is actually starting to take over a bit more. Let's see where our debris tracker is. And this is kind of where we're watching. That the debris product here, it's not looking kind of as intimidating as it was earlier. So that is a good news here. And hopefully the storm is showing some signs of at least a little bit of weakening here. I'm going to put it into motion here and check out our reflectivity and our velocity again. So this storm at this point definitely could still be producing a tornado. It's almost entirely into Rapides Parish at this time. There still is a tornado warning back across Vernon Parish, but not too concerned with that area at this time. And yeah, let's check this out again. Yeah, we still have rotation out there. Kind of looks like we went from having one area to maybe a couple of areas, but certainly that area between Leander and Heinston, definitely want to stay in your safe place here. We have a strong storm trying to produce something out there. Certainly have some strong velocities still, so we are looking at a tornado warning here out in this general area. Moving into Heinston and Leander as well. And yeah, this area here kind of really taking over between Leander and Heinston, still showing some rotation over in that area. And let's check on our correlation coefficient. We have this area here. That is not a debris ball over there. It has to be in line with the area of rotation, but you can kind of see it within the reflectivity here. We have this kind of hook, but it is definitely a rain-wrapped area. Trying to do my best to draw it there, but certainly have this area of rotation between Leander and Heinston, and let's see which general direction that is pushing. Still mostly an easterly direction. So some of the next areas out ahead of this, Otis may pass just south of you, but if I were in Otis, I would get to my safe place and stay there as well. It's going to be south of Seeper, so Seeper is going to be okay. And we're going to continue to track this. May eventually push between Otis and Oak Hill here in the coming minutes. As of now, all of this activity, or the strongest activity, as you can see, is south of 28. So we're going to be watching that, and we'll have to keep an eye on that as it approaches the metro area ever so slowly. And not seeing any updates here in the next few minutes, last few minutes from the National Weather Service. But we still have this activity again. Still Heinston up to Otis. That is going to be the area of concern at this point. It is now mostly to the east of the Leander area. Otis and Oak Hill, you're going to be the next areas here up in the path of the storm. And certainly seeing a little something going on, some rotation out there. Looks like we have more than one area of rotation out in this general area. And let's kind of stop it and take a look. Check out these reflectivities. Still showing velocities of around 50 miles per hour. That's not exceptionally high, but that's something we definitely still have to keep an eye on. And not seeing a debris ball at this time. It looks like we may have had one there briefly as it was approaching Rapides Parish, but definitely things are improving. We still certainly have some rotation out there, but things are looking better. But the strongest part of this storm will be headed towards Otis and Oak Hill here in the next few minutes. Still seeing our severe thunderstorm warning continuing from Boyce over to Alexandria up to Ball, and that'll include DeVille as well. This storm here may be producing some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, some penny-sized hail as well with that. And so our tornado warning has been canceled for Vernon. As I mentioned, it has pushed out of the parish. At this time, we are keeping it going for Rapides Parish. And it does say a confirmed tornado located over Heinston. So that's the area we have been watching. That's where we likely had that debris tracker showing a little activity earlier. This storm is not moving as fast as some of our previous storms here. This one's moving at 25 miles per hour. So if you were out in the path of this, Otis down to Heinston, and then Oak Hill is not in the box yet, but you are out ahead of this, so we're likely to see this expanded here further east. And they're probably going to watch that and keep an eye on that before issuing a tornado warning for the Alexandria metro area, because of course that sets off a lot of alarms. So we don't want to put a warning out there. They don't want to put a warning out unless we know that it's going to push into the metro area. And at this time, it's staying a little bit south, hoping that, of course, we don't want the storm to really affect anyone, but hoping it stays south of our most populated areas. That's always a good thing. But of course, this is definitely a strong storm. Still continuing to make its trek near between Otis and Heinston. And one of the other areas, let's stop and take a look at some of the roads. Louisiana Highway 488, you're going to be out ahead of this next. And 121, again, it's pretty much right on top of that area. It's kind of at that crossroads of 121 and Louisiana Highway 465. That is where we see our areas of rotation, and there it is there. You see it, and it's a bit hard to read today. It's a little messy. Let's go back to the last 15 minutes. Yeah, we have at least one area of rotation between Otis and Heinston, maybe even a couple of areas. And good news, as I mentioned, that debris ball no longer showing up that we were tracking earlier, so that's good. And the velocity is certainly seeing this area of rotation here between Otis and Heinston, but it is not quite as strong as it was earlier. Earlier you saw those really bright colors right next to each other. Now it's a little bit more broad, so that is a sign that maybe it is potentially lifted. So it looks like this is going to be allowed to, this tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire here in the next 5 minutes. We certainly could see this reissued at any time. And definitely check on your folks over in Heinston area. Let us know if you experience any damage from this storm. So this strong storm is going to be continuing to push to the east. Again, Oak Hill is going to be in the path of this. National Weather Service saying that due to that rotation not being quite as strong as it was earlier, again, definitely looking more messy than earlier, that tornado warning should be allowed to expire. But this is going to be a strong storm, and we are likely going to be continuing to track this. Again, as of this time, it may affect the southern parts of the metro area, and they are going to replace that with a severe thunderstorm warning. But again, if you're in the path of the storm, I would stay put if you can. Use caution, even though we don't see the tornado warning continuing here beyond 5:45. Definitely a strong storm, and it's one you definitely do not want to be out in until it passes through your area. And all these storms now coming right up on the metro area. Getting close with some heavy rain. Let's check in on, we do have quite a bit of lightning as well. And we do have really a string of severe thunderstorm activity. The worst of it, Leesville, now you are most likely going to be in the clear. We have a little activity back out to the west. You're, I would say, almost in the clear. Just a reminder, we do have a tornado watch continuing here. And that is going to continue until 7 o'clock. We'll see if that gets expanded beyond 7 o'clock. It may, but at this time, the strongest of our storms are stretching through Rapides into southern LaSalle Parish, where we also see a severe thunderstorm warning ongoing south of the Gina area, down to DeVille as well. Well, Ball, Alexandria, Boyce, all in the severe thunderstorm warning box. And of course, we do continue to see this tornado warning. That should be allowed to expire here in the next couple of minutes. And it looks like we are going to have our first warning of the day for Avoyelles and Evangeline. So let's check that out and see what we're looking at here as these storms, so this is going to be our severe thunderstorm that's just now entering the metro area, and that is going to be eventually pushing into parts of northern Evangeline and Avoyelles. So if you're in Avoyelles now, it's still a ways out from you. You're getting an alert now because you can see that little sliver of Avoyelles is now in our severe thunderstorm warning. So as all this progresses east over the next several minutes, in the next hour or two, we are going to see a lot of this translating to the east. So that is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for Avoyelles and Evangeline with 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So you still have a little while, but that is going to be headed your way. And again, our tornado warning here, not going to be reissued, but we're still watching this area here that is now coming up on Oak Hill. It's now to the east of Heinston, and it's really between Otis and Oak Hill, and down to the Melder area as well. And all of that is continuing to push in an easterly direction. And we kind of have been tracking the velocity on this earlier. Still have some broad rotation in that area, but it's not really that strong signature that we had a little while ago. But that strongest part of the storm now mostly east of the Heinston area, close to 112 and 488. So just a couple of minutes left on that one. And it's still, even though we're not going to see a tornado warning continue, certainly could produce a tornado still. Sometimes severe thunderstorms, they are capable of producing tornadoes. So definitely as this storm gets close to the metro area, you certainly want to use caution here in the next few minutes. It's probably going to be too dark to see anything in our tower camera, but yeah, not really seeing much other than some rain falling here across the area. Of course, plenty of lightning with this as well. So by the time this is all over with, a lot of us will see up to an inch, but some locally higher amounts certainly, as we do have that heavy rain. If you missed it earlier, we do have a flash flood warning out from Hornbeck down to Anacoco, and that's because over the last few hours, that spot, one of those areas have seen 3 inches, looking like maybe even more. Radar here product estimating possibly 6 inches of rain out in some of those areas. So it's definitely been adding up fast, especially across our northern and western portions of the area. So at this time, we are just tracking 3 different warnings. One for southern LaSalle for this strong, severe thunderstorm. That's going to be mostly south of Gina. That is in really extreme southern LaSalle. Our tornado warning is now dropped off, but we do have a strong storm from the metro area up to Ball, Paradise, Timber Trails, Rapid Station. You're okay in that area. It's just heavy rain. Even here in downtown, where well, we may see the strongest part of this storm kind of clipping the metro area. Let's put it into motion again. Again, this is right on top of Oak Hill and Woodworth, Forest Hill, LeCount. You are looking at a strong storm here incoming, and we do have a severe thunderstorm warning on this, and let's see how long this is going to go to until 6:45, and then we're also going to see that expanded into northern Evangeline and southern Avoyelles. So with the tornado threat on this diminishing, we certainly could see one reissued here really at any moment, but definitely use caution if you're in the metro area and anywhere in southern Rapides Parish. But with that tornado warning expired and our threat lessened now, I'm going to take a break and regroup here, and we'll be back on here as needed in the next couple of minutes if we have any more updates for you. But if you're in Rapides, definitely trying to stay put, ride the storm out here as it continues pushing across the parish.